passing Dusty with the left hand, so I don't know, brother.
My name's Paul. What I like about who I am, the fact that I'm a good father to my son, and what motivates me to do that is because my father was never there for me, so that kind of pushes me to be there for him.
My name's Christian. What I like about who I am is I believe that I'm ambitious, courageous, and loving, so I try to extend that to everybody that I meet, family, friends.
I'm Samantha. I think I'm fiercely loyal and smart. I'm a good mom.
I'm Gregory. What I never give up. It's great.
Alright, guys. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good. Now that everybody's had a little time to share a little something about each other and to fill out their worksheets, what we'll do is take the information from our worksheets and we'll kind of, I said earlier, if there was something that stood out to you, particularly that you could discuss it. What I'm going to do is open up the floor for discussion on self-worth. Everyone here has at some point in time, either whether you have a mild substance use issue or severe or whatever, we all in this group have suffered some kind of consequences and effects from substance use on our life. And in some way, shape, or form has caused us to second guess ourselves, doubt ourselves, or maybe, just kind of it just hit us where it counts, and that's our self-worth. So, would anybody like to open up and share?
Well, my issue with substance abuse was, I guess it's considered more of a mild case, but I was using directly as a coping mechanism. I was here and I felt sort of detached from the community and alone, being that I was new to the area. So I turned to drinking to kind of help what I thought mitigate that process a little bit and help speed up some of the emotions that I was going through so that I wouldn't feel them for too long. And that in turn obviously didn't work out in the best way. And so I realized that I can't run away from sort of what I'm facing. I can't just shove it under the rug because it's still gonna be that bump in the rug. And so I might just trip over that bump later and that eventually happen.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that the lack of, or a sense of not belonging created an issue or feelings that maybe I'm not worthy to be a part of everything. What were those feelings about?
Some of it has to do with racial tension and discrimination, being the only one that looks like yourself in the setting that you're in, as far as school is concerned for me. So, like I said, part of it was just personal. It may not have been other people. It may have just been my perception on my situation and causing a little bit of hypersensitivity to what's going on and making me being too worrisome or overlook things or, make things bigger than what they may have been. So it could have been that as well. And then part of it is just the true reality of the situation. So I think it was a little bit of both that kind of played into my struggles and my adversities here.
All right, so it sounds like you've done quite a bit of exploration into other possibilities and stuff, and kind of taking a look at where that may win or where you want to go.
Yeah, as of late, I've kind of been forced to because I don't want to keep going down the same detrimental path. And so to do that, I had to be more just real and honest with myself about what was going on. Obviously, being more forthcoming with other people, talking about it more, allows me to sort of peel back the layers to what's really going on. So I'm trying to do that and just be more open about, what I'm experiencing, whether I feel like it may make somebody else uncomfortable. I feel like it's best for my growth to just talk about it.
Yeah, and that is a very sensitive topic, racism and all that kind of stuff, because that particular topic makes everybody look at themselves. Not just the victim of it, but the person that is perpetrating it has to take a look at themselves too. And most people don't want to take a look at themselves anyways, right? You know, so, so being able to even talk about that shows that courageous part that, you know, of you that says, you know what, regardless of how this might turn out, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. I'm not gonna let somebody, so that's setting a solid boundary. It's like, I'm not gonna let somebody, if I feel like I'm being discriminated or racism's occurring, I'm gonna speak up. And I'm gonna talk to that person because they may not even know or realize what they're really doing. But if I define it for them, then maybe they have the option to change. And at least say, hey, oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that, that's not what I apologize, and I'll fix that. All right. Okay. How about you, Samantha?
This I found hard to do. I think things that happen to me, I think self-worth, complimenting myself, what I like about myself. Yeah, I think, and that's why I would kind of, I guess, act out to kind of cover up the, I guess, the pain. Kind of, but defining myself and just kind of coming in really to who I am, figuring out my worth. I guess.
Can you tell us about that pain? What was that?
That was things that happened when I was a child. I've kind of lived in that place for a long time. The abuse and then I think not having my father there, never really had a good sense of a father-daughter relationship, so I went looking for that in men. And so I've never had, I guess, healthy relationships. So then, it would lead to, then it became drinking or whatever, and I got, get yourself in trouble. And finally, like, this is just not working. And so the last about 6 years have been a better path, but still getting past the pain of the childhood and stuff that happened is really just in the last probably 6 months changed.
And so what I'm hearing is actually both of you have done some exploration. You're all looking into, what's moving me, what's working on, what's working on the inside of me, as well as what's working on the, coming from the outside, and, how is this affecting my life, and where do I really want to let it take me? What about you, Gregory?
If you know me, self-worth is truly who I am. I'm a little shy today. I'm always shy, but I don't do this. But self-worth, looking back on like what I went through as a child to now as a man, it's like it didn't define who I was, but it also gave a highlight of who I am today. Some of the things that I've experienced as far as living in certain neighborhoods, going to certain schools, it had a big impact on, who I am. And I try to treat people with the utmost because the people where I come from aren't as nice. So, and that's even coming out the house.
So what do you think is one of your most impressive qualities? What is it you like about yourself that gives you back?
I love my looks. I love to help other people and enhance their looks and being a hairstylist. Just being an album good.
Is it Freddie?
substance abuse, or however you want to look at the same one different. Haven't really cracked quite into it. I know that it's always been, whenever I've drank, I never drank to suppress any feelings or anything like that. It was just to bring out, I guess, feelings, such as like, every time I've drank, I can link it to something fun or exciting happening. Mine is getting arrested. So it's always been something positive, fun, something like that, which makes it, I guess, for me, because I enjoy having fun, like, and I don't mean that just as in drinking, I just mean like having a good time. If I like having such a good time, and then I also link alcohol to that with having a good time, that makes it 10 times more dangerous for me to do it, because I enjoy doing it, so I'm gonna wanna do it as often as I can. Therefore, which makes it worse for me and my body, and for the people around me. And, slowed it down a lot, but that's not stopping, so.
Yeah, because the more pleasurable responses you have, the more you wanna do something.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. If I look back and there's only like a handful of bad times when I'm drunk, as to like a million great times when I'm drunk, that's hard to, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm not very,
Well, no, it makes sense, but, pull it out of the experience part, and take it to the inside part. Sure, there are great times, that's why people drink, you know, there's no doubt that there's pleasure
Right.
in drugs and drinking, and that's what actually captures the person to do it.
Right.
But how do you like having to call your parents to come get you out of jail?
Never done that.
How do you get out?
I sit there until I'm
You just
released.
sit there in jail. How do you like
Oh, I
having
hate
to,
it.
your
I
friends
hate it.
know, everybody knows, it's like you're back in jail again.
Oh,
He's back in jail.
that was
again.
another one of the things, like with me, I never really gave two craps about what other people think, because this is my life. Why are you having an opinion about my life? Am I hurting you? No. Don't worry about what I do. Worry about yourself. I'm sure you got other things to worry about. But I can say ever since I had kids that it's definitely helped me straighten up a lot, keep my nose clean, stay out of trouble. Because there's someone that's dependent on me. It's that if I don't do right, they're not gonna have the right one. I'm their role model. Secondly, I don't want somebody else raising my kids. That's my responsibility. I love them with every beating fiber of my body. I want them to have someone that when they get older, be like, yeah, my dad is cool. My dad didn't do bad things, or at least like we never see him do anything like that, and set like the right example to get them to do the right things throughout their time of growing up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I want to, and I don't want to miss any moments with them. I like spending as much time as I can with them because they make me happy, and they make me way happier than I would be when I'm drunk. I can tell you that. So
yeah, and so what I'm hearing is that going to jail is not something that, though you've been five times, right? But that's not who you are,
No,
and so you want to change that
absolutely.
because you don't want your children
I don't want them
to experience you as being
I don't want them when they get rebellious to be able to be like, oh, but you did all this stuff.
right.
So just because I've made stupid mistakes doesn't mean I want you to make the same stupid mistakes. I don't want you to end up in jail. That's not a good place. It's not a good place for anybody that has the right mind, I guess you would say. But yeah.
So that would be, it would be safe to say that one of the questions is, what have I experienced and did I grow from it?
Going to jail.
You know, so what you gained from going to jail is that, you know, this is really not what I want to define me.
Right.
Because it does define some people. I mean, we got a gentleman in Lexington that's been 1,000 sometimes, got the record or something, yeah. But it does,
It's just,
It defines you though, it really does in the eyes of others,
It's
it
a-
begins to define you.
it's a terrible place to wanna be, I don't know why. I just wouldn't, that's not, I don't like having somebody tell me when I have to eat. I don't like somebody telling me when I can go outside and shoot some basketball, or do something, like have some physical activity, or when to go to sleep. I don't like that. So jail's just a terrible place for me to be because I can't stand it.
Yeah, so you're suffering the loss of your
Freedom.
freedom.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's something to suffer.
yeah. Losing your freedom is everything.
Absolutely.
And that means by keeping drinking, you lose the freedom to choose even inside your own head by continuing to drink and drug. It's just not an outward, external factor, it's actually an internal factor that begins to.
And it factors everything is the thing. It factors everything.
How about you, Paul?
Well, I mean, as far as my substance abuse, I mean, it's always the norm for me. I mean, coming up poor, you know, in the streets, my mom, single mother, trying to raise us the best you can. I watched throughout the years, you know, her just struggling to survive, you know, different boyfriends at the bars. So drug abuse and drinking, all that stuff was normal. You was abnormal if you wasn't, you know, and that's what I had to come up with. And but throughout the years of getting locked up, and you know, I mean, I spent a lot of time incarcerated. So you know, then I was labeled as a felon. So that kind of, you know, buried me to believing that I was a certain way, that I was less than the rest of the population, or, you know, viewed as different. So, but, you know, throughout the years being locked up, and even though in and out, you know, I was able to develop a belief that, hey, I don't have to be this way, you know, I don't, you know, like, I'm not what society thinks I am, and I just combated that. I applied myself, got good jobs. That was a really big thing, peeling those labels off. Even though, I mean, good job at that, like a career job, and that's simple as just getting one off Craigslist and applying myself, and within like 6 months, you know, I'm like running 19 stores and charge everything, hiring people. So I went against it, and I won against that label and peeled it off, and it was very inspiring to me. You know, and people always watching, you know, and it's good to see, like, my family back there. Like, I came from a city of no hope, you know what I mean? Like, and it kind of shines a ray of hope to my family and people, like, and, but man, it's been tough. Like, I'm like that hardcore addict. Like, I remember just waking up and just wanting anything, you know, just, once I'm in, I mean, I want a pill, a drink, anything. That's what I realized. When I was at the end of my addiction, like being, you know, active addiction, I mean, I was that jumping off point, you know, like I couldn't see my life with it, and I couldn't see my life without it, you know, and it was a very hopeless and scary place to be, full of self-pity, you know, projecting, you know, even the simplest things like, you won't come smoke a joint with me, mother, you know, like blaming other people for what I had going on, and I'm laying on somebody else's couch, you know, pointing the finger at everybody else without taking a look. And I had to look at myself, so I knew what to do throughout the years. I was given the tools to get honest with myself, and so I found my way to detox and started addressing my issues. And through all that, man, I've been able to kind of set the street mentality aside and everything, you know, like, this ain't the way I gotta be, this ain't how things are. So through all my troubles and everything, I was given a different light, a way to look at things, and I'm just that guy that has to learn the hard way, man. I mean, one stretch, I probably did like 18 months, just straight, 30 days this county jail, 6 months in prison, then 9 months rehab, all back to back.
Right.
You know, and talk about messing with one's mind. I mean, it was hard. Like being controlled. What can you do? You just have to accept it and try to live the best you can with the situation. So that's all I did. You know, just pushed on. It really does develop and mold you to be a stronger person to face society, man. 'Cause society will chew you up and spit you out. You just gotta be yourself, keep your circle small, love those that love you, and be aware that anything else that'll try to take that from you, man. That's what I've learned. So I don't let people in. We gotta get to know you. I made that mistake. Relationships always tore me apart, man. I'd go over there to save somebody else and drown. That's all I got on, bro.
So you went from a sense of shame, came to the conclusion that your behaviors that you're committed to weren't who you are, and you decided that I'm going to make a change, because that's just not me. I don't want to be that person. Right, and it sounds like, just like with everybody else in here, the events in your life, what they did is they motivated you to take a look at inside. Stop looking at the behavior, because behavior, it kind of gives us insight into what's going on inside of us, right? If I'm acting this way, what's going on, right? Why, if I'm feeling this way, what's going on? Well, what am I thinking, And so it sounds like each one of you've gone through a process where you've taken that event and then you started addressing, what are my beliefs about what's going on? And taking a look at ourselves, it's kind of pulled us deep inside and said, man, is this the direction I'm going to allow my life to go? Am I going to allow these behaviors, these things to define me, or am I going to make a change? Right? And each one of us in here has made a mistake and made a mistake again, right? I'd say most of us haven't learned the first time, right? Because we don't always, we write it off the first time, right? It's like, oh, that's just bad luck. And then it happens the second time, and it's like, well, that's bad luck. By the third time, we're like, maybe this ain't bad luck. Maybe there's a pattern here, something ain't right. And so I got to make a move. I got to, so each and every one of us has done some exploration. What did you gain from some of the other stories you've heard?
That there's definitely, like you just hinted at, similarities with it. All of us, no matter how we look, what background we come from, what we're actually dealing with on a more personal level, I think we all can find a communal effect in that, life is difficult. And as Paul said, society has a way of making you tough whether you want it to or not. And so I think we all can learn that. Like I said, even though all our paths are different, challenges and struggles are still real for everybody. And so that growth and that maturity that is required on a young individual is going to come at some point, in everyone's life. And it's just at different times and it affects people differently. But I think we all can learn in that. We're all trying to be better versions of ourselves. And so to do that, it requires us to be more perceptive and insightful of, who we are and what we're going through.
How about you, Snap?
Actually, two things that kind of stuck out to me, I think, that kind of our mentality changed from that of victims to the victorious. We want to rise above this. Bad things happen, yes, but we can't stay there. And then I think when you were talking about drinking and
share your opinions, your views, or something that you went through in your life is pretty good because some people need to hear that.
What did you gain from hearing what you heard from the other people in the group?
That there actually are a lot of people out that have issues and problems, but when they talk about it, it kind of helps them out, and if you just work towards things, you can overcome anything. No matter where you come from, no matter what's happened to you, no matter how bad it is, it's up to you and you can overcome it. Even if you're a person that someone would label you as weak, that just makes you even stronger because you can overcome it. Because you're not a weak person. Nobody was made weak. It's just listening to what other people say. You gotta take what other people say and just throw it out the window and worry about yourself and getting yourself better.
Takes courage to do that.
Yeah.
To step up and say, because you'll see a lot of people that are defined as weak, they might get beat down, but man, they step right back up to the
Exactly.
plate, man, they ain't weak.
That's
They
what I'm
might
saying.
not be able to fight, but they ain't weak.
Yeah, exactly.
They got courage, they're courageous inside, they got a heart, right?
I concur with everything that's been said. I mean, it's good seeing different viewpoints and, just knowing we all come from different backgrounds and we're just trying to get through whatever scarred us emotionally, mentally, whatever, I think we're all emotional beings, and whenever you apply logic over those emotions, you'll get through a lot.
Yeah, and it'll straighten out our emotions a lot of times. If we start, if we get that, the correct or rational thinking going on, we start to develop healthy emotions that produce positive behaviors. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, and I think that, that everybody did recognize the fact that it does transcend race, gender, all the different things, economics, everything else. Just because you're rich don't mean you're not suffering and going through a lot of crazy stuff. Just because you're poor doesn't mean that you're any less than the rich guy, because y'all both struggling. Both of you got problems with your kids. Both of you got drug problems. Both of you have, you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of the problems that determine our self-worth or work on the inside of us, those problems are experienced by everybody, every culture, everywhere. And so once we get down to that part, I think that's where we recognize our humanity.
Well, it's also like when he was talking about, he came up with, I was talking about, I don't want my kids see me in a weak moment of my life being addicted to drugs or alcohol or something like that, just making those kind of mistakes. And he was talking about that was the norm, right? Well, just because like we can both end up in the same place, because I grew up, my parents were together until I was like 5, 6 years old. None of my parents ever drank or smoked from me. My dad doesn't even drink. Dad only smokes cigars. My mom would rarely have a drink. She didn't start drinking from me until I was in my 20s. But I still went down a slippery slope of hell of doing shit that I shouldn't have been doing. So we all have flaws. It's just, you can come, literally like you were saying, you can come from anywhere and still go down the same damn path. You just gotta be able to it's good to have support to help get you out of that.
Absolutely. All right, well, if everybody, underneath your chairs, you have the balloon. If you would write your name at the top of the page, and what you'll do is you will pass those around to your left. And in each balloon, you're going to write, at the top of the page you write your name and you'll pass it on around. And then the next person's going to write inside your balloon on your sheet, and your name is at the top.
Also, just leave it blank.
Well, yeah, because I'm the one that's going to write in it.
So I'm writing something about me.
Yep. you've learned in the group about that person, something that's a good quality, something that you'd like to just say about
Can I
that person.
compliment on his Timberlands?
Hey, I appreciate that. I saved up for 2 months of my things. Then within 2 weeks, I screwed them up.
I told him he was looking pretty fly when he came in.
Hey, I got those button fly 501s on with some Timberlands.
Who's Christian?
We got you stacked up over here, Christian. Shit. I forgot his name.
Oh, man, now we're gonna give you a
I
hard time.
don't remember.
Just call him,
I call him Nike.
what's his name? Jeffrey?
Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that to me.
Sam, who's Sam? Okay. I'm bad with names, y'all, I swear.
Look, I'm bad at spelling, so half y'all are gonna have misspelled words, so there you go. Paul, gosh darn it, we've had like, what, 5, 10 classes already?
I know,
I can't even remember.
Struggle's real, brother.
I know.
Christian. Let me see your face, man. Y'all gonna hate me at this class.
Goodness, I spelled the wrong word. Sorry. Kinda popped one of your balloons, bro.
God, Chris got our brain working today.
I don't know, man, he's actually making us, thought paying for the classes was enough, now he's making us do
Did I
paperwork.
write something about myself, though?
If we done another that, enough of that one. Just
Who took y'all's TV?
That what y'all done with that
Yes.
stand, you know what I mean? We get the bolt. Get the crescent wrench.
Man, put them on.
My balloons just make me smile. That's going in the refrigerator after I take some crowns.
Oh,
Oh, I got it, okay, I already marked yours. Okay.
Which ones do you want, Chris? That's going on my refrigerator, I'm coloring that first. Everybody likes coloring.
Yeah, and so that's what the balloon thing is all about. It kind of gives you what people are thinking about you, right? The impression they got about you during this little group session. And so it's kind of something to take away and to help you see something maybe you didn't see for yourself. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate y'all. I thank you all for coming.
I hope you get an A, bro.
Feel free to say goodbye.
Hey, if they don't give you an A+, you let us all know, and we'll write letters to them.